Whatever you do, just don't sit on these seats. Yeah, not for you. Come on in. I know, isn't that neat? What I love about the sign shop is they can do, of course, any signage, but they can also do flooring. As you guys are seeing, all these different types of flooring they can do. It's almost like a wallpaper, so that you stick it to the floor wherever you need it. A lot of our different sets will use that technique. But our sign shop primarily is responsible for creating signs for a set. Sign is often an indicator not only of where we are, but what time we are in as well. So if you see something like this, you're probably going to guess that maybe it's a period piece, perhaps. We did film the Virginian here on the lot in our Western sets, which we'll look at later. They do specialize in period hand lettering, like you see here. But they can do anything, and they actually put a lot of labels on some of these things, which I love, so we can tell where they've been used. Here we have a CSI sign, very simple. It's for a different business or a hot dog stand. This is one of my favorite things in this sign shop because I'm a big fan of Heroes. If you've seen the pilot episode, this was what kind of first happened that kicked off the whole series. And the paintings kind of tell the future, and still to this day, the paintings are indicators of what might happen in the show. And the sign shop is actually responsible for printing out these paintings. So you can see several different examples here of what they can do, which I love. I'm glad I have people that are excited about that. Yeah. I love Heroes. When we first came in here as tour guides, most of the tour guides love Heroes. We freaked out about this because we were like, oh man! They filmed some of this scene, the train crash sequence here on the lot. So we actually saw a train car was on fire, and they had a cheerleader stunt girl running through it and stuff like that. For Pirates of the Caribbean, the third one, if you remember the very end of the last movie, Johnny Depp rolls out a map and says he thinks he knows where the Fountain of Youth is. That's that map. And rumor is that he kept a version of this for himself as a souvenir, but this is another version. And then we have your basic seals. You have just signage, also telling us what country we're in. For Heroes, that's important. Shows like Alias, lately stuff like My Own Worst Enemy. A lot of your spy shows, 24, they will go to different countries. So we need a lot of the different language. We actually just had My Own Worst Enemy filming on the lot. Forget what country they were creating. I think it was Italy. So they had to have Italian signs everywhere. So we can do that in our European area, which we can have play just about any country in the world that we want. We can do gravestones there. You see one that was used in Desperate Housewives? This one looks like it should be by the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland to me. Not sure what this was used for. Could be Ghost Whisperer though. Ghost Whisperer, she's constantly in cemeteries and going to funerals. So thanks for that.
Ties in with the dates as well.
The theme of the show.
2008.
I know, that person was only 26. It really does look like Haunted. But they also can do like kind of more minor things. ID badges for characters. Anyone that works in the FBI, hospital, police officer, we need an ID badge for. They can create those. Passes, you can see different passes for special events. Here in Hollywood, they throw a party for anything. So we need press badges or badges for people. They do the MTV Movie Awards here at Universal, so they create those. We can do commercial products. El Pollo Loco was filming a commercial here, and the company they had hired to create these basically didn't get them done, so they actually had the sign shop do them last minute emergency, and they actually created the commercial products. The cups and stuff were the actual commercial that we're shooting here in the lot. Another thing they can do, though, I would say this is kind of the opposite of that commercial product, is create this kind of product. Now, if you glance at this, it looks like what? It looks like it's from Blockbuster? Yeah, which is the point. We want it to look like that. But, if you read it, it says Super Chain, right? And it's not a real Blockbuster thing, but it looks like it. We do this a lot with our props because we want you guys to believe our characters are living in a real world, so that they're renting from Blockbuster, they're drinking a Coca-Cola, we're going to McDonald's, stuff like that. But we didn't basically get payment from these companies to advertise, so we're not going to use their actual name. So probably what you'll see is maybe an actor will have a hand over this and it will go past the camera really fast. I mean, if Blockbuster had actually paid us to advertise for him, we'd have the actor be like this. Blockbuster, great movies for a cheap price, you know, and they do a little advertisement. But you know, when we don't have that, which is often, we want to create something like this. So
that's like in NCIS. Mark Harmon goes around with his cup of coffee, looks like Starbucks, but has something else written on
Starbucks. You know, and you'll often see that in shows where they'll be drinking milk, and it will just say milk on it, or soda, you know, and it will say something like that. Their beer will actually not say Budweiser, it will say, you know, Budweiser. They'll change like one letter around or something. That is also what we call Greeking out a prop, so basically it's all Greek to me is where that comes from. So they're basically changing a word or two or a sentence around, so it changes it from being the actual product to being a fake movie product. Product placement is very complicated and makes a lot of money though for our shows, for our movies. One of the best examples is E.T. They went to Mars asking M&M's to be in their movie, saying, hey, we have this alien film, we think we could use your product in, and they went, don't think it's going to be that successful. No. And they went to Reese's Pieces, which we now know, like, I mean, Reese's Pieces, you just think about that when you think E.T. Reese's Pieces sales went up 60% after E.T. came out. And E.T., of course, was like one of the biggest movies of all time. So M&M's kicked itself after that happened. So product placement can be a very powerful thing. It can profit both the studio and of course, the product itself. NBC did something where all their new shows were actually coupled with products this year. Lipstick Jungle, I think, was a hair product or a shaving cream or something. And then we had My Own Worst Enemy was a different car. A lot of cars are doing couplings with the show, so they can get their car on screen, and then we get money from the firm to advertise their product. So it works hand in hand.